Welcome back to the ECS Season 8 finals, where we are now getting ready to get into our second best of 3 of the day as Sharks take on MiBR. My name is FACEIT, your desk host for the duration of this weekend, and joining me are none other than Sean Gares and Christopher Get Right Alisson. Alisson, you taught us how to say that right.
Alisson.
Alisson. Great, I'm learning...
No, that was...
Oh. Well, I'm learning Swedish. I'm learning Swedish this weekend.
Alsund.
But one thing...
just say it.
Just say it. But one thing we are going to be learning a little bit more about is Sharks versus MiBR. This is an incredibly interesting matchup, both teams from South America, and they've only played once before ever, and it was almost a year ago. And it wasn't a good matchup for Sharks. Let me just say it that way. It was MiBR taking it 16-2. So I'm wondering whether they're going to be changing their fate today. What do you think, Sean?
I think so. I think this form of Sharks has a little bit more experience previously. They're a little bit less intimidated, especially after that game yesterday against Astralis. And I think they have pocket picks like Vertigo that could come into play that MiBR should be scared of in this best of 3.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we were really impressed by Sharks' performance yesterday. Christopher, was there anything that you could kind of pick up on there? Because they were against Astralis, the #1 team in the world.
I mean, Lucan was playing really good game yesterday. He was one of the biggest reasons why they actually were in the game. He was like winning 5v2 at one point, and he was playing the lower bombs at the CT as well when he got 3 kills close to the window area. And I just believe in general, like, when they played against Astralis yesterday, I don't know, I'm not really sure if that was their full potential and they were like over potentially doing it, or if it was like normal or anything like that. I'm expecting Main, for example, now we're just seeing his highlight, like, because everyone has been talking so much about him. But I was talking mostly about Lucan because that was the person yesterday was actually performing really well. So I'm expecting to see Mayan to actually step up today, to actually see even like the Godlikes highlight I've been seeing pass on the line and the online system of ECS as well. But in general, this is still like a really kind of like an unknown team to me. So I don't even know them that well, even though like they have 2 Argentinians players and then there are 3 guys from Brazil. And at the same time, they go up against MiBR. You know, the Brazilians, you know, the gods of Brazil or anything like that, you know.
What I want to see in this matchup is Leo against Fur. Like, they're so aggressive. Both those players have so many similarities when I watch them play. I almost think Leo got his playstyle from watching Fur. And Fur struggled a lot yesterday. So I think Fur is going to start this best of 3 super aggressive, try to get in the game early, because yesterday was one of the worst games I've seen Fur play recently. Like, even though MiBR has struggled, Fur has played so well lately.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think what's so interesting about this matchup, I was speaking to Exit a couple of weeks ago when they came through the ECS online season. We were talking about MiBR and how he's inspired even to be like them as a team because they are such a legendary name. There's so much history with that team.
I mean, yeah, of course. I mean, you have to remember, like, when Fallen and those guys did this gamble to actually proceed as like professional gamers, especially in CSGO, when they come from a region and actually had no support. I mean, their storyline regarding no matter what has been happening now for MiBR, because they haven't been that successful, which they've been in SK and Luminosity and that all the teams they play for, just looking up for what they've been doing for the Brazilian scene, but in general for like regions that doesn't really have the support. Yeah. So it's just amazing. That's why, I mean, everyone has such a huge respect for them, no matter where you're coming from, because they started from basically nothing.
Especially someone like Fallen, who launched Gamers Academy, which then propelled, you know, all the other Brazilians to come into the States. I mean, he gave them, I think it was called the Golden Ticket or something like that back in the day, where he brought what was the Luminosity team into the States, which is something really cool. Everyone in the community has tons of respect for Fallen, and that's why it sucks to see them struggle recently, but it looks like they're on the up again. I mean, they took out EG 2-0 at CAC just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there has been a mixed bag of results for MiBR. 3rd to 4th in IEM Chicago, 12th to 14th at the Star Ladder Berlin Major. It was a struggle for them there, safe to say.
But you have to remember also some of the tournaments they were actually using Zeus as a player because Cold Sierra left them and they had that difficult thing, and then, you know, they were getting in Lucas into the team while Phelps got replaced as well. You know, so they've been having a tough couple of months. But I remember from yesterday we were talking about that, I actually was really happy to see them start finally becoming closer to a higher up level that they've been doing. So I'm very still like excited. I'm still very eager to see them play. Yesterday felt like a semi-off day I didn't really hear anything. I didn't really talk that much with them, but I just felt regarding the game they played yesterday that it just felt like pretty much an off game.
Yeah, exactly. It's interesting you bring up the Zeus points. Obviously, KNG was the man who was taking over that reign to allow Zeus to go back into the coaching role, and he was one of the few that actually stood up for them yesterday. He was 22-17 in that match against Fnatic, but it did look like they were really struggling in moments there.
Yeah, it did, but I don't think they'll struggle nearly as much today. Fnatic, clearly a top 5 team in the world. Sharks doesn't have that kind of experience. I think they might, you know, I don't want to say bottle up a little bit, but they might play a little bit scared against MiBR, as opposed to Astralis, where they were clear-cut underdogs. Playing a team from your region like this, similar to how we saw EG play against Liquid yesterday, it didn't look like the EG that we would see if EG played Astralis, for example, right? You look up to those players, and it's hard to do the same plays against them the first time around.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you have to remember, like you were saying, Freya, that you already spoke to the players of Sharks, and they're looking up to the MiBR guys. You know, that's going to be a huge factor in this game, is seeing actually, are they actually going to go up and actually test MiBR to actually like prove a point that they actually can beat them or actually play a close game? Or do they actually look up too much to the guys? That they are actually a little bit scared to play against, you know, the idols they've been looking up for so many years. Fer, Fallen, Taco, KNG, Lucas, you know, all of them has been doing different stories during their careers in CSGO, but it's just like people that you look up to, and especially come from that region, so we'll see what happens, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think what's so difficult for MiBR is the preparations for Sharks. There is little to nothing really to go off for them, especially with the 2 Argentinians in the lineup.
Yeah, there's not much for MiBR to look into, especially when you look at the maps that Sharks likes playing, right? They liked playing Vertigo a lot in the ECS Cup. That's how they got here. They beat Liquid on Vertigo. But this is a different version of Vertigo. I'm sure they're familiar with it. I'm sure they put in the same amount of work on this Vertigo. But there's nothing to go off of if you're MiBR, and that's a little bit scary.
Yeah, but you have to also remember that the Sharks likes to play Nuke as well.
That's true.
And MiBR doesn't really like to play it that much.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember last time they played it, so
It's been a minute.
yeah, but MiBR at least are playing Vertigo, so actually, I think that map can come like
think so.
be played, and especially since like there was like when they were playing in China, I think they played it against G2.
Yeah.
And they won that one, Vertigo, if I don't remember wrong.
They did.
So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised that at least Vertigo is going to be picked by Sharks or MiBR. I mean, I think it's going to be wide open who actually picks it, but I'm not sure about the rest of the maps. You know, MiBR is still fighting about getting over their struggle with Inferno and actually getting it back to play, so they actually can be playing against anyone. It doesn't really matter region or tier or anything like that, so they're safe and going to be, you know, knowing they actually is going to play it really well. But in the same time, maybe we can see a train, maybe not. We'll see. I'm at least sure on Vertigo. That's the only thing I can be sure of.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we'll be getting into our map veto very shortly. But before we do that, we're going to take a look at 2 players a little bit closer under the microscope as we go into our heads-to-heads. We've got Lucan and Fer going up against each other. It's a very interesting comparison to draw there.
Yeah, Fer struggled a lot yesterday. It was, like I said, it was one of the worst games I've seen Fer play recently. He's been playing really, really well. Lucan played phenomenally yesterday. I think these are very different players when I watch them play. I don't know. Maybe they both lost. Maybe the Brazilians lost yesterday because they're not fans of Thanksgiving. But maybe they are fans of like Black Friday or something, you know? Half off Brazilian teams. One advances, one doesn't, you know?
Exactly.
You
Well, and that's going to be what's so important about this matchup is that one of these teams is going to be going home after this best of 3. Who are you kind of, we're not going to get into predictions just yet, but who are you kind of favouring in this match, Chris?
I mean, you have to go, like, I think 9 out of 10 people were probably favoring the MiBR guys, mostly because how experienced and how like a tier 1 team they've been like for such a long time. Shark is like the up-and-coming team, so the underdogs of the Shark here is not really having like a Cinderella story right now, like Furia when they're coming back to the, or like into the scene, when it was like actually like Furia actually have a chance. Furia actually like it's like debatable. Then here is like more. I believe 9 out of 10 people would always say MiBR, and you know, I feel that at least.
Yeah, I feel like MiBR should be coming into this as heavy favorites. And that's not saying, you know, Sharks isn't a great team and they can't upset them. I think they have the skill to upset MiBR. But, I mean, MiBR has so much experience against top-tier opponents, and that means something in Counter-Strike. That gives you confidence when you play against lower-tier teams. It makes you have confidence to make aggressive plays all the time when you play teams that you perceive as worse than you. And I think MiBR has that advantage coming into this.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we're going to be heading into our map veto to see which maps are going to be playing on in this best of 3. Chris, what are you thinking for this?
Vertigo, Mirage, Inferno.
Okay. What about you, Sean?
Yeah, I think we're going to see Vertigo, Mirage, and Train probably coming out. Somewhere in there. I'm not sure. MiBR could pick Train. Both these teams play a lot of Mirage. So if it's not picked by one of the teams, I'd imagine it's floated as a third map.
Yeah.
I think Sharks could pick Vertigo if they want to get, a little bit dirty here. Yep.
There we go.
There we go. I can't wait to see this, actually. I don't think have we seen Vertigo?
No, not the new Vertigo,
Yeah. No, we haven't seen the new Vertigo yet. I haven't seen it really played at all, actually. So I'm really excited about this one. I want to see how the FACEIT dynamics work. And yeah, there's the Train pick from MiBR. And I think we should see the Mirage floated to the third because both these teams are so comfortable on that map.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in the end, it's like Sharks and MiBR, I don't see them like a Dust2 team. I don't see them like trying to put it into the best of 3. They're probably gonna try to avoid it. I mean, I remember when the MiBR guys were playing under Luminosity and SK, they weren't really favoring playing Dust2 at all. So I know that they're playing it more and more nowadays, but they're still not really there yet to where they're actually gonna be like, hey, let's play it in a best of 3.
Good God, they floated. They made Inferno the third map. Why does MiBR keep doing this to me? They keep wanting to play Inferno. It's like old Cloud9 syndrome when I was the in-game leader, where I just kept wanting to play Inferno even though we'd lose every time. It's a dangerous drug, It's much easier to explain, to your parents that you like doing hard drugs rather than continuously losing on Inferno. So it doesn't.
If that's not inspiring, I don't know what is. Do you think that could potentially be a sort of danger point for MiBR then, leaving that in there?
I think so. I really don't like watching their T-side Inferno. And their CT side Banana Control has so many weird holes in it whenever I watch them play. T-side, they've always tried this weird smoke front of B site, and they run the clock down so low. It just gives me anxiety watching them play Inferno, honestly. Like I think every match is close, and they never win the rounds they need to at the end of the game.
Well, yeah, we're going to be getting into our predictions with our casters over there in Dan and James. How are you gentlemen feeling for this matchup?
Upset. I'm feeling the upset, yes. Okay, they're a huge underdog. This is a domestic matchup. They have no head-to-head. Well, I've seen Sharks on Vertigo. They beat Liquid on Vertigo, okay? This is going to be, I think it's going to be crazy. I mean, obviously, MiBR have to be a huge favorite for this, but I'm going with the Dog of the Sea, if that makes any sense. It doesn't, no Sharks are the Dog of the Sea, okay? So I'm going with the Sharks.
Okay, Dan, how are you feeling over there? Are you going to be going with an upset story?
No, I think I'm going to go for the same choice. I'm wearing the MiBR shoes. I think I'm picking MiBR.
Well, that's a split casting desk over there. Did James not trust that?
I love me some Sharks.
James, is it true?
What?
MiBR shoes?
He's wearing the MiBR shoes, yeah. I never got any because my feet are too big.
Well, he's a true fan. Sean, I'm going to come to you next. Who are you thinking for this, for the first map?
MiBR is about to have some shark fin soup for their Brazilian barbecue meal right now. I'm going to go MiBR.
Okay. Chris, you feeling the same? You feeling upset potential?
No.
No?
It shouldn't happen, but I think Vertigo is the first map. There's a chance for Anarchy. I want the Anarchy. I want the Bedlam.
There is a chance, and I have been Shark's biggest fan, but it does pay me to say I am going to be going
Traitor.
with MiBR. I'm so sorry, James. I'm so sorry. I know you love the guys over there on Sharks. I do believe that maybe they'll get a map, but no, I think I'm going to be going with MiBR. We'll be checking in with you guys a little bit later on when we're getting into our game, but now I think it's time to have a look at our Pinnacle fan predictions as well. As we were saying beforehand, a very passionate fan base behind Brazilian CS, but I'm wondering who they're going to be siding. Oh my!
How is this even possible?
67% Sharks. That has surprised me.
Are they starting to
I feel
lose
like they're
their
trolling.
fate, or what's happening?
Maybe they're
Are they
jumping ship.
trolling?
It's like Black Friday mental illness going on. I don't even know what's happening.
Well,
shopped
I'm
out.
going to be feeling for the fans after this one. You can quote me on that later when Sharks eventually win. But we're going to have a look at our Pinnacle odds as well to see where this is going to be lying for this matchup. I think we know where it is going to be, heavily favouring MiBR just there. But Vertigo, as James said, I totally forgot that they did beat Liquid in the online season of ECS on Vertigo. But it was a different Vertigo.
Exactly. That's what I mean. That's the heads up of this one, because the new, I don't know, are they playing the one that's just released like a week ago?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and that has actually a lot of changes for those that time when Sharks actually won over Liquid. So for me, it's because, like, for me, doing with, even though I know MiBR in general is not really playing Vertigo that much, even though it's open to it, they at least beat G2, and G2 seems like a team that wants to play Vertigo a lot, and it just didn't recently. So for me, I still favor MiBR in this matchup.
Oh, really? Okay, that's very interesting. Well, obviously Sharks have picked that. Are you feeling the same, Sean?
I think Sharks can steal Vertigo. I'm a little bit nervous about Vertigo. I'm not going to lie. I think Sharks did look really good on Vertigo when I watched them at ECS. But yeah, the A-site dynamic is totally different on this new version. So they're going to have to scrap everything they did on that A-site on CT side, even on T side, obviously their approach. But if they picked it, they're clearly very prepared. They're ready to set the meta, which is not set yet. So it's going to be really cool to see what they have in store.
Well, yeah, we've got a little bit of time before we head into this match. I kind of want to talk about Vertigo a little bit more and the changes that have been made. What are you kind of expecting to see from this map?
Oh, I don't even know. I don't know. Before we saw so much A control, not much towards B, a lot of like weird late round B control. I don't know if that's gonna change around. I think we're gonna see a lot more mid presence with the mid changes that happened. What do you expect, Chris?
Well, I'm on your side with the mid present, but I know at least they're gonna be trying a lot more. Also, be having a lurk against B and trying to fake it out on A, because that's what I've been seeing. Like recently from a lot of teams, that they at least have one lurker that goes against the B side, and then eventually when they've been trying to do like the attack against A, it's like they're faking it out, but it still looks too closely. They're actually gonna go for a bomb side, and then all of a sudden it rotates and go into B and plants a bomb and win the round by that.
Are teams using mid more with this version?
Yeah, they are, mostly because the door is gone, and they can just easily Molotov the sandbags there. They can take like It seems to be way more easier now for T to actually take mid control, and the CT is actually way more like problematic because you have to either really fight for it or you just basically give it up.
Yeah, and I think that's going to change so much about this map, because what happened before was you couldn't take early B control very well as T side because of that, the pre-smoke, pre-molly, all the nades coming in from CT side. Whereas now if you get mid control, it forces the B players to be aware that you can come through the window into the B site. It's a whole nother avenue for T sides, and the B site opens up. You don't have to walk on the first floor, all the way across the map late game to go B anymore. You can now go through mid.
Yeah.
So it's gonna open things up.
Yeah, exactly. Are you expecting this to go to the full 3 maps, this series?
I'm gonna say yes.
Okay.
I think we're gonna see 3.
No,
Okay.
2-0.
You're not. You think MiBR are going to be taking Vertigo?
Yes.
Very interesting. Well, the winner of this match will obviously be facing Fnatic later this evening, and MiBR have already faced Fnatic in that best of 1, and they lost out. What are you kind of expecting if they do go up against them again?
I think they're going to be performing much better than they did yesterday, but I don't know. Yesterday was like, I still have this thing with best of 1 and best of 3, even though it's not supposed to be, you're not supposed to talk about it like that much anymore, but I still have that mindset. So I believe like yesterday, best of 1, they didn't really think about it that much after they lost, because they know if they go in a best of 3, they're probably going to perform much better. And I expect them to play much better if they go through this round.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a much different MiBR if they get to the best of 3 stage. I'm kind of against the grain on them. I think they're very good right now. I think they're capable of upsetting teams in the top 6 in the world. A lot of people seem to think they're out of the top 10, they're never coming back. I don't think that. I think I've seen a lot of improvements out of this team, and they're putting tons of hard work in behind the scenes. And I think this is a game that they should win, and then Fnatic is going to be a really close series for them.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think that's a good point you bring up there. Obviously, we were talking about Zeus earlier being on that lineup for a pretty extended period of time, especially over the major, and now they're bringing in more roster changes, more improvements. You can see these guys have incredibly good, hard-working mentality. They always have done.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, they always had that mentality to train very hard and play a lot of tournaments, even boot camps in Europe and pretty much all over the world, it feels like. So for me, with the last couple of months, maybe like 2 months, I've seen huge improvements. And I'm on Sean's side there. It's like, for those who actually think that the guys are outside of top 10, not really. Like, I see them inside of top 10, but I can't really see where I could put them in, at least at this moment, because I see the improvements. I still haven't seen them come to a final yet when showing off really what it was made from before and show everyone again like they had the chance to actually win that title. But I just feel like somewhere deep in my body saying that they are soon there at least.
Yeah, I think they will soon get there. The problem right now for them is the KNG Fallen dynamic seems a little bit odd. They haven't really figured out how to run the double up setup, who's opping when. Yesterday we saw Fallen opping T-side Inferno. I don't know if that's something, that we're going to see more of, if him opping on T-side and KNG opping more on CT side. But once they figure that out, I think we're going to see MiBR like fly toward up in the rankings.
Yeah, well, this is a very exciting day indeed. Not least because we're going to be seeing Sharks go up against MiBR, but also it's Black Friday, guys. You know, it's got some good Black Friday deals. CS Money. Head on over there to buy and exchange skins quickly, but most importantly, safely. Gentlemen, we are just about ready to get in. Have you got any final thoughts before we get into this match?
Sean was talking about Fer. Fer did really not have a good game yesterday. I expect him to be really going like strong today and actually showing up what he's made of and being that aggressive player as he is. At the same time, I will do it for Mayan as well. I didn't see that much from him yesterday, so I expect both of those players to actually step up the game, and it's going to be a brawl.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you brought up that point about Mayan. He was obviously on the bottom of the scoreboard yesterday against Astralis, but you got to give him credit. It is Astralis, right?
Yeah. I don't see there being any problem with Mayan. I mean, he has phenomenal aim. I think KNG should have a big game with AWP. He's struggled in the past a little bit, upping the A side on Vertigo, but I think he's probably worked out, the kinks in his game, and I could see him having some improvements and hitting tons of shots today based on the form we saw yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. Well, obviously this, as we've been saying, is a best of 3, so I think there's a lot more room for these guys to kind of come in and try some different stuff as well, because you've got a lot more maps to do it on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. That's all I'm getting from you, Chris.
I don't know why, but it just blanked out there. So
That's fine. It's been a long day, Chris. It's been a long day.
I'm tired. Okay.
But yeah, no, I think I'm more interested to see. Obviously, like these guys haven't really been playing on LAN at all. Yeah. Most of the performances I've seen of them have been online, mainly at ECS. They've been trying to qualify for a couple of other tournaments as well. They were at the South American minor qualifiers as well. They didn't make it. They got placed 4th there. Yeah. So there's been, I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting just to see how they're performing on LAN versus compared online.
I'm not too excited to see them on like Train or Mirage, but Vertigo, I want to see if they're running like defaults on T side. Yeah. I don't know if they're going to run defaults on T side or if they're just going to do strats every round, just strat after strat after strat, because the meta really hasn't been set. So there's nothing to work off of. You can't copy an Astralis right now. You can't go copy a default from Liquid. It doesn't exist. So how are both of these teams going to approach the map?
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting, especially with Vertigo, since it's a lot of changes in the map, all the time, it feels like. And, I mean, I'm a little bit curious, like you're saying, are they doing, heavily strat attacks, or are they going to be, trying to get some sort of a default and just work the map around, and especially, attacking the mid area? But I feel like they're going to be similar to what Furium did in the beginning when they came into the scene. They were it seems like at least they were strat heavily team. They do defaults with a strat built into all of their defaults, and it looks like kind of simple whatever they did, but at least they had a build up to actually being actually around in it, and actually that amazes me when they came to the scene. And I feel like Shocker is a little bit similar to that, but I don't know how deep and how good understanding they actually have about Vertigo though.
I do think they need to have that style against a team like MiBR though, because they don't want to get picked or get picks and end up in weird 3 versus 3s against MiBR. They need to just put all their eggs in one basket, not play mid games against MiBR, because MiBR will crush them if in those 3-on-3s, 2-on-4s, all of those weird situations, that we saw yesterday versus when Fnatic played Astralis, and there was grindy situations where mid games happened a lot. Sharks needs to avoid that. They need to go up early and kind of just, play rounds all or nothing, which is what they did yesterday against the Astralis.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you very much for that, gentlemen. We are just about ready to get into Sharks versus MiBR. Dan and James, take it away.
I am very excited for this one. All right, so for those of you who got a premium pass, on the CT, when Sharks are on a CT side, I think JNT is a great guy to watch. He's a really snappy sniper. He's got some funky wallbangs as well on some of the positions where the bomb can get planted. I've put videos up of that before, and maybe we'll see it again. But of course, this has all changed. Both these teams quite like themselves some Vertigo. This is the newest Vertigo that we have. So you've got some extra corridors, which you may have not seen in any match to date. So this is going to be extremely interesting. We've got some various changes, but I guess we'll see them as the map goes through. I am super hyped for Vertigo right now.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see who perform as well, and I think my eyes will be on Fallen, of course. I think there's a lot of room to be aggressive with your AWP, especially on the CT side, and especially with the dynamic around the A side of the map. It has changed somewhat, obviously, with the new side analy and everything. But yeah, it's going to be super interesting to see how that actually plays out. I think that MiBR is a good team in terms of a team that has the right minds to innovate and to quickly pick up on changes and be the leaders in how you want to play something that's new. And so I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out. And I got a feeling that Taco's going to have a really good game, James. He tends to always have good performances on Vertigo. I think it's been highlighted that recently in the last in a couple months, Taco has been particularly devastating and is often overlooked. And with a team full of players like there are on MiBR, it's not too hard to see why he may be overlooked.
KNG is a giant factor in every MiBR match at this point, I would say. I love the addition of KNG to the squad, and I think that this is kind of the team now for MiBR. I wouldn't expect any more roster changes in the next year, really, or beyond that. All things going well. But again, this Sharks team, up and coming, Brazilian-Argentinian mix. Haven't played MiBR before, and again, I think that element of surprise with their explosive output could be good. But then again, just a reminder, when we saw them in the online season, some games they did great, some games they did absolutely terrible. But we'll see if this does turn into a domestic matchup. MiBR will start on the T side. So again, if you do have the Twitch Premium Pass, then I would look at JNT on the full buys. It was a lot of fun. Obviously, Mayan is, we saw, I think, a peak performance from Lucan, which I wouldn't expect to see every game when he was playing Nuke yesterday. That was kind of ridiculous. How many multi-frags he got was just simply absurd. It was a scientific anomaly, in my opinion. Mayan, I think, from what we've seen of Sharks so far, they're still like a young team to us as well. Just the one season we've seen them. Mayan is, he is a very highly rated player from the region, so one to look out for as well. When we are no strangers to the MiBR squad. So for me, the focus will be on the Sharks players. Now, having a look at being from a region where they look up to these players, with Fallen building Gamers Academy and so on, they can't come into this with nerves or respect. They need to come into this and play their own game, impose their will, and so on.
Yeah, and I don't think that we'll see any tenets of a domestic matchup just because how far removed MiBR are from the Brazilian region. They are technically a North American team for all intents and purposes in terms of where they're practicing and who they're practicing against and the region in which they're living and so on. So that could be something that actually ends up helping them. And at the same time as well, MiBR are a team that they're going to be playing disciplined Counter-Strike with strong fundamentals. They should be able to avoid any nastiness. Because typically those domestic matchups kind of rely on having a lot of experience with the players you're playing against to a degree where you can start making guesses that are completely outrageous, but are probably going to be correct because you just know them so well.
I think it's also the style of the region, though. And I think there's still some of that in the MiBR squad, but we'll see how it plays out. We've got we had the big bling Deagle chain on Hen 1, and we've got a bling for Zeus as well. He is the hype beast of MiBR. For sure, he's got that Louis Vuitton Supreme wallet. He's got the Jordans on as well. We love to see some taste with the players, always fun. So here we go. Sharks will indeed start on the CT side. It's all pistols for now. Lucan with 2 flashes and a defuse kit. No PT50 for the MiBR squad. It's newest Vertigo with a few changes. Some places I think were widened, I want to say, but we'll see as it goes on. I haven't been able to play this map just yet since it was changed. Of course, we've been on the road. We got one man on the road in Taco towards that A-bomb site. A slow start from MiBR. There's a grenade that could isolate some CTs and make them feel somewhat nervous. Footsteps now in that mid position, which is more of a traditional mid, I think.
There's a spot towards mid. Sharks don't have to engage, they have to commit.
New area.
But this is going to be difficult because, with MiBR having this position, they can really separate the CT's rotation. And that's never fun. And Eyes looking to isolate here. Mayan, we know he's good with a pistol, but he will be taken down after 1. Looks like MiBR starting off strong, but Lucan, we see so many shenanigans from him, and he's going to continue in like form. Bomb is down on the ground as Taco will get the trade eventually, and that will now leave it resting on the shoulders of FACEIT.
He's close. Has he made a footstep? Do they know he's there? I don't think they do. Starting to creep. Taco. He's got the information and he's still alive. Now they can play that 2 versus 1. I think FACEIT has a rough idea of where KNG is, but Taco will finish the 1-tap. The final one of the round, and MiBR will take the pistol. Start off the proceedings well. All new Vertigo. This will be very, very curious. Both these teams keen on Vertigo. Some nice taps from Lucan, so maybe he does want to continue his form into today, which would be huge for Sharks because honestly, it was just like, it was exceptional yesterday. So many multi-frags.
Yeah. I'm hoping it's not an overperformance, you know, that's or a performance that's not replicable. We need to, because they will need 1 or 2 players to really be going off. That is for sure. Liking the new side alley dynamic that's been added in. Was in the previous version as well.
Those sandbags have been moved as well to allow players to jump up without needing a boost, which moves it closer to the corner, which I wonder if it will help the CTs with aggressive peaks.
Nice pick off from pushing forwards. There's lots of CTs here. The spray is going to be found from KNG, though, to take down the remaining players in middle. So the stack has been dealt with. Mayan will make his presence known surely. Soon enough, it will be seen. His peeking. And he spotted it. And he's outguns. And there we go. 2-0 for MiBR. The very normal starts. Start to get into the real Counter-Strike now, as Sharks are now available to buy.
When we saw the much earlier versions of Vertigo, I did mention that I think one of the issues was the lack of a traditional mid, in that you can collapse on the bomb site so quickly, but definitely it seems to be going in that direction now with the door being taken away. So there's more of a commitment from both sides to making a play in that area. You're more committed if you go deep as a CT. It's not so easy to fall back and so on. That's an interesting change. Perhaps a lack of helmet for Mayan is a huge problem. Fallen making the right play with the MAC-10. One of the only 2 players who didn't have a helmet there, I think. Leo Drunky being the second one. So that's a really fast start for MiBR. In some ways, it puts Sharks closer to an AWP, but they don't want to lose this round.
It's a huge advantage, yeah. There's so much time you can just burn now as the T's try to force out a misstep from your opponents. A flash and a smoke is all that's left for Sharks. It's a terrible look. They're almost in a position where you'd want them to stack or something, because it's going to be hard to imagine that they'll be able to hold off MiBR with no utility. How will they do that? Well, it may not be answered, because, yeah, you look at this, just isolating the CT defenders. There's only a couple places they can even stand.
Look at that utility, wall of smoke. Exactly.
This has been locked out of place, and there's nothing that they can do. Everything's covered. And there's even some post-plant utility on KNG remaining. So great round from MiBR. Love this one. And this is interesting data for us, James, because right now, you know, what we see is MiBR get that opening pick. They've now just shown us, okay, they waited a little bit, and then they ran that set piece where they had the wall of smokes on the B-bomb site. So they were already in a 5v4 looking into a spot of how do we actually set piece onto a site from this position.
That wall of smoke creates a very interesting proposition for a retake situation on that bomb site for any CT side, and what they have to try to hold on to in terms of utility. So I would like to see more of that in this half. I'm not sure if that's something that Sharks are prepared for. And again, I think one thing which is interesting with Vertigo, with the constant changes, immediately. With the constant changes on the map, is if you go into an important match and you play a Vertigo and there's something that is just completely new to you, how you're able to react to it. Like if you were expecting to defend a bomb site from certain positions, but you're forced to concede them, how do you get back to those spots? If you can't figure that out in the vacuum of that game, then it could be very, very costly indeed. So X has got a long way to fall back, but looks like he'll be able to do so as MiBR have some kind of take of mid. That smoke is up once again to limit what the CTs can do from other angles. KNG will be boosted up.
This is really cool to see, James, because MiBR, it's looking like they're going to be starting most of their rounds by just taking mid control. And it's so strong because if you're losing mid all the time as the CTs, all of a sudden your rotations can be completely compromised. And it's such a replicable and good way to start the map. So I feel like Sharks are going to have to start contesting mid. I don't think they can allow that to be so free, but it's a nice backstab from JNT, finds Taco pushed up, and that's probably going to give them a good idea that it's going to be B at this point, because Taco's really just in a lurk role there. JNT didn't see anybody around him, although Fur is also lurking around this position, so that's really important that Fur shows presence here, gets taken down immediately by Leo Drunky. Now MiBR have to go for that B push.
Nobody else towards the B bomb site. Well, Lucas gets taken out. We've got big action. KNG and Fallen now, falling back. with 29 seconds on the clock. Trying to force their way in. Got a little utility. Risks must be taken. KNG moving, trying to clear out exit. He's got 2. There's no responses yet from the CTs. Oh, he could find a 3rd one here. Leo Drunky just about gets there. Fallen with 8 HP versus 2 remaining players. JNT and Leo. Can they pull the straight back situation? Big headshot from JNT. And Sharks will get their first round on the board. And I do wonder how much they'll try to avoid him once the AWP comes out.
That was really good damage from KNG. That really hurt the economy of Sharks, to be sure. Look at this. Almost looked like he was good for that 3rd kill. He had 10 bullets left to try to get that 3rd one, but Leo Drunky spots him just in time. And will limit the damage, but it was certainly strong enough. And we'll see there is a lack of money after the buy from Sharks, so MiBR in a decent position. And here comes the challenge. Oh my god, exit. He just saw so many people. I wonder how much showed on the radar. And we get the run boost. Okay. That was a close one. Well, they decide to go for it again, or perhaps the timing is not good. That's a spot there from exit. We know that he's in this position. He's able to get out. It looks like he's got a smoke to cover his retreat. Oh my god, are you actually going to go up the ladder for the challenge? That's ridiculous. Exit actually takes damage, is able to back away though. So a lot of danger early in this round for both teams in different forms, but no one's actually going to die. So there's a minute left now, more or less, and MiBR look like they do not want to be denied middle. They're going for a retake here. This is pretty committed. The bomb is there as well, so this is not looking great so far for MiBR positionally. A lot of time has been lost. It's a great pick from JNT. What an angle. That's a very favorable spot to be playing from for JNT.
Well, he's going to get taken out. 45 seconds on the clock. KNG creeping in the mid position. Lucan has a good angle, but by no means will this be easy because KNG's got that creep straight in the dome. Oh, he's doing so good. Not even scoping in. Really cut the numbers down now for Sharks, who have decisions to make. Leo Drunky and Mayan trying to do what they can. Lucas on the way. The duel's just not being won by Sharks at the moment. Leo Drunky now in a 1 versus 3, and he's on the wrong side of the map.
Yeah, that information for MiBR of where Leo Drunky was after the kill is just like, it's just so devastating. Because look at the positioning for MiBR. They know that they can just run into like extremely forward positions. And Leo Drunky, he's got to worry about pretty much everything right now. Able to take down Lucas, but he's on 10 HP. And will they try to commit to taking him out? Looks like they will. And I don't think Leo Drunky's going to win this one. He won't. KNG will finish him off. 10-1. KNG is lighting up Sharks in this half so far.
Just a quick note. I kind of paused earlier while I was talking about bomb sites because on the minimap, A and B are listed the wrong way around for some reason, but that's being fixed at the moment, so apologies for that. But
oh yeah, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, so I was like,
that's really weird.
Like, yeah, there we go, but that'll get sorted out.
That's so weird, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, anyway, 4-1 for MiBR. It's a roaring start. They're winning the right rounds to break the money from Sharks. They're keeping JNT off the AWP. I don't think we've seen one on the server at all. No. Just, I'm pretty sure we haven't. That's a big plus because honestly, his output is quite colossal. From what we've seen on Vertigo especially, he's the same style as maybe more KNG than Fallen. Because Fallen is, he's a unicorn. But if they can keep him off, then this may be a horrific half for Sharks. It's not all down to him, but he'll definitely stamp his personality on a number of rounds if he's able to get that and secure the economy.
Yeah, and that's also the question as to whether or not against MiBR he's going to be able to have a performance when he does get the AWP in his hands. Exit with a nice steal there onto KNG's Krieg, but the best case is to save that. But yeah, that's another thing that I'm wondering about as well, because JNT, it could be the case that he's a streaky AWP, but we don't really have the data yet, I think.
Yeah,
it's fair to say.
We don't.
So it's going to be good to use this game to get more insight as to how Sharks will be looking against the top tier. They did have a great game yesterday against Astralis on Nuke, pulling back a number of rounds in an unexpected fashion. But I felt like it was more about Lucan, really, of course, and Leo Drunky had some good moments as well. JNT had a couple moments, but Lucan was absolutely the highlight, the standout. and another round for MiBR. 5-1 now as they move further into the lead.
Now we got money. Now we've got money for Sharks. I want to see an AWP. I do not want to be disappointed. They haven't bought just yet.
Give me that AWP money.
So timeout for Sharks as they discuss what they will choose to do. Now, MiBR should know that there is an AWP coming. Does this mean they go for some kind of fast play, for example? Because that's a potential option to try and avoid it. I haven't seen too much towards A just yet, and in fact the minimap has been updated now. It's been corrected, which is fantastic. Well done, boys and girls. So no more confusion there. Got plenty of smart people on deck at the finals to fix things on the fly, which is pretty awesome. 6-1. There is the AWP for JNT. That will cause him to sacrifice some utility, of course. Oh, they're going for the double. Again, Mayen is quite a notable sniper as well. And maybe with a different lineup, he would be the primary sniper. But they'll have two. And it does look like it will be a fast play from MiBR, maybe to thwart the AWPs that they know are coming. Charging very quickly towards their bomb site. Sharks have lost a lot of angles already. They don't really have any sniper angles at all. Fallen taking lots of damage from the AWP, and there he is. It begins. JNT with the headshot, but first on the site.
Yeah, he's pushing up real far forward here. Can't win the second frag against Lucan, but he'll be sprayed through the wood, and it's looking very bad here now for Sharks. They've been completely removed from the bomb site with the utility, and MiBR have good control of that site. The A site is going to be difficult to retake for Sharks, and they've got a lot of investment here. 2 AWPs on the retake. I don't know that they can play anything more than contain from this position. There goes Mayen. Exit will take down another one. Looking to edge their way forwards. Fallen finds a good timing, and they're going to lose everything. It looks like Sharks. Just Exit remaining. Can he find these kills? It's looking very difficult, very tentative right now. He was able to take down Fallen, but he's up against Taco now, and Taco is playing a favorable position here on the ramp, looking to catch Exit off guard. Oh, there's the flick, but it's their time. Here comes the defuse. I think he's just about got it. He might barely have it. Just oh no, that was so close. That's so unfortunate for Sharks. They ship it all in. It's all across the line, every single chip, and they will have it all taken away by MiBR.
A noble effort on the retake, but it won't work out. It looks like there'll be hero AWP. Oh well, that's quite the flick from JNT. Maybe the traitors were enough, but it wasn't enough for them to win the round. Well, there'll be some money, there's some spare money, some disposable income for Sharks in round number 8, and JNT will be gifted an AWP by Exit, who still has his money with his teammates, which is fantastic. So now we can see how it looks with the sandbags closer to the corner. There's JNT kicking things off. We saw yesterday him beast everybody in I think a round similar to this, so perhaps he can do it again now. With JNT seen towards the other side of the map, do they go fast? They need to identify if it's a full force or if it's just a hero AWP. Here comes the wall of smokes once again. I haven't seen this too many times, to be honest, and I don't know if Sharks have either. If they haven't, then this might be hard for them to deal with, especially in a round such as this. Mayen will spot Fallen, but he can't quite make a connection. Sprayed now by Fur, but the CTs are swarming onto the site. That's a really important frag for Fallen.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to get any easier here for Sharks now. It seems maybe we've hit that tipping point here. JNT is close with the AWP though, but he's the only firepower that they have remaining. It's just a PT50 on Exit, who's critically weak. As JNT edges his way forward, there's no scope up at this point. Has to go for the quick scope, and he'll get taken down by Fallen. A bullet to the brain as Exit goes down as well in similar fashion. 7-1, and MiBR continue to absolutely dominate Sharks. And again, it's kind of early to say whether or not this is particularly CT or T sided. I don't know if that question really can be confidently answered by anybody just yet. But right now, MiBR are just crushing Sharks. They are looking really good.
Yep. They are very prepared for Vertigo, and this might be scary stuff. I think a lot of teams are going to be downloading this demo from what we've seen on MiBR on the T side so far, and I'm sure there's plenty they haven't shown just yet. Again, they have neutralized Sharks and kept them poor. This is maybe only the second round with it, but they have proper AWPs, one of which is taken away immediately. Leo Drunky taking huge risks, and he will be punished by Taco. No surprises for MiBR, it seems, in this CT half of Sharks.
Yeah, again, we're going to see maybe JNT trying to go for an aggressive play, but he's been thwarted by the Molotov there of who may just go and push side alley, and he will find him. And if he does, then Taco can sandwich from the bomb side itself. So JNT's in a horrible position with the AWP. His back is truly against the wall as Fer creeps forwards through the smoke, perhaps. As he waits for it, there's the spray. JNT, oh god, he's in so much trouble there. Taco indeed swings out, takes him out, and that's the A bomb side under control for MiBR again.
And there's some older changes from Vertigo, but again, it tells you just how more committed you are into plays around the A bomb site, around that mid position. JNT with nowhere to go. 3 MiBR players now lining up together. Lucan and Exit remain. This is still winnable for Sharks, 2 versus 3, but they have no idea what's going on. There are no sound cues. And maybe with the more committed makeup of Vertigo, it's going to be harder to get that information. But they are moving together. They're playing a trade frag situation. Lucan going first as he's in the red. Exit will have to be the man to trade frag if, well, to clutch if necessary. But they're on the wrong side of the map. Scope in from Fallen. Starting to advance now. A few shots have been heard. We can see the rotation from Exit already. The CTs are split up now. Going in that new room. Didn't exist before. And it looks like a salvage operation here for Sharks. Exit hiding in plain sight. Can fall back if he needs to. But MiBR and Vertigo. I see some vetoes coming in the future games if they are to win this one.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that CT side looks as well, but maybe they won't have to play much of a CT side if things continue to debate with the jump across, knowing that Exit was on the other end there. Can they deal with Lucan? Probably not. He's in a good position. Nice catch there. There's the trade. Fallen very quick. That's beautiful spacing. And that'll be 8-1 with the AWPs removed, everything removed. MiBR continue. And here is the opening kill from Lucas. Great stuff there from him. Only got worse at this point as Taco is able to deal with the aggressive maneuvers coming in from Sharks' side. And their answers, Sharks' answers don't seem to really be working out here. The equation is not, they haven't balanced it correctly. And the teacher says no, James.
I feel like Sharks not ready for these strats which MiBR are pulling out. I'm seeing new things from MiBR that I haven't seen from them on Vertigo, and they are never shy to pick Vertigo. I've never seen them do that wall of smokes, for example. So I don't know if Sharks are just are able to respond to the things we're seeing from MiBR. Again, another eco round. Half the rounds are very free for MiBR at the moment.
Yeah, it has been a good MiBR map, I've got to say. In the games that we've... Obviously, it's been different iterations of the map. There's been so many of them. But MiBR have always, you know, seemingly be comfortable to go to this map. It's a nice shot from Leo Drunky, though, to take down Taco. So, an opening kill. Finally going the way of Sharks.
Yeah, I think Get Right did say a lot of good things about how dramatically different the map is now from when they played it on Liquid, especially around this A bomb site. Just the investment, the commitment to positions on the CT side. Not what they used to be. Fallen gets there just in time. Those green Brazil gloves, if you will. More footsteps from MiBR as they approach the A bomb site. That's Mayan taken up. Hitting the opportunities. Exit. Can he find a second one with the MP9? It will be unlikely, but it will be pretty good. Lucan will try and shoot the bomb off the side. Of course, it would hop back up. 2 versus 2 now. And has a superior angle. Will he find both? Surely on the radar at the very least. He must have seen something there from JNT. With the C, so he's got a 1 versus 1. You can see Fer being very careful. Great patience. JNT had nowhere to go, but he did try. 9-1 for MiBR. A fantastic way to start Vertigo and this series.
Yeah, you can't really fault it. I think and one of the other things that's really working out for MiBR is that I think from an individual standpoint, they are playing a lot better. Just, you know, a lot of these, there's been a lot of 1v1s, a lot of duels, and generally speaking, MiBR are looking very convincing in those duels. And so that individual element that's coming into play, that's also tipping the scales enormously in MiBR's favor. And not to mention the strategy that they have to throw at Sharks as well. And it looks like we may be going back to a tentative mid-take from MiBR. More focus around the A-bomb side here for Sharks. They actually have 3 players towards that side right now.
This top, you can see that this ramp is new. Previously had to hop up there, but it's a little better for jiggling and for Jules, I think, with the ramp there. Minute 15. MiBR clearing the mid position, which has been abandoned at this point. by Sharks, looking to take the fights elsewhere. So they're going to try and determine where they fight to the death. Looking for the more precious spot. There's the flash trying to be avoided. Great stuff from May and an exit. They hold position. Smoke is up. KNG starting to creep. Not sure if he meant to fall off. Some more sound cues though. Waiting for the next explosion now. Very well timed Molotov, and Mayan realizes, God, these guys are really on point on this map. However, Sharks are in a 5 versus 3. Fer forced to run through a smoke. That won't go his way. This is a really nice round so far for Sharks, but it's still time for it to turn around.
Yeah, so 2v5, but Fallen is in a forward position here. The bomb's coming back. That smoke could really just kill this momentum entirely. And in fact, it will send the Fallen all the way back. Perhaps it's time to save. Don't want to give away anything to Sharks. Leo Drunky, though, on the flank, taken down by Fallen. And we will be holding on to the orb for now. All right, so Sharks looking like they're going to get on the board here with their second round. Stopping MiBR dead this time. But that's only 2 rounds. They've got to get a repeat performance in there. And MiBR, I feel like they've got so many gears to go to at this point. They could speed things up. They could slow it down even more. They could abandon the mid takes. They could just go for a straight up set piece, like dry contacts. There's actually so many options right now that I think feel good for MiBR. That this is an extremely scary position to be in if you're Sharks.
It really is. It really is. This is attack timeout from MiBR, which is soon to expire. You can see Sharks, I mean, they are absorbing information, looking at what's working and what's not, choosing where to fight. I don't know if they'll keep abandoning mid or just play it from much further back. But I like that that dynamic exists now in the current iteration of the map. It feels like maybe an improvement to what we had before. Jury may still be out on that, but I think the investment for all concerned is better now. Harder to just disappear from that mid position. MiBR are doing well with that smoke. They're making it really, really tough. Look at this forward play from Mexico, actually. He makes his way to the ladder room immediately. And this is MiBR now in a rough spot. We need a bit of game sound here.
I was wondering if it was just me.
There we go.
All right, well, I was wondering if MiBR would go like really fast towards one of the bomb sites, trying to play contact and trades, but
Especially given the Mach 10 and the Galil. And it looks like they will go towards A after all, in a more delayed fashion. But here they are as 4 players. And Sharks are fairly far back at the moment. And so look at all this forward positioning that is being bought by MiBR. This is going to be a nasty surprise for the Sharks. They must make sure they don't die here. And this is going to be very difficult. Oh dear, JNT gets one. I don't know how much more he saw though.
Look how committed they are, though, in this position. It's actually a really interesting prospect in how many men you invest into this site. When you want to make a forward play like this, it's working out at the moment. JNT, who needs an AWP? He'll do it with the M4A4. They know he's still there somewhere. Fallen trying to switch out for another weapon, but now it's just versus 3. I say just, but he has position for a split second. It won't last very long, though. Sharks doing it without the AWPs. Which is kind of cool in a way, and obviously there's a big potential with the orbs, but if that's expected and prepared for by MiBR, then changing the dynamic could be to the favour of Sharks, at least in the short term.
Well, you can see that here MiBR are really badly punished because they didn't shut down side alley correctly, or at least, I mean, I don't want to use the word correctly per se, because if they weren't going for that, sure. But it feels like they need to be more responsible in terms of, you got to get the smoke there, the Molotov, something to cover your push timing. You can't just leave it open.
Well, it's easy to say, but if you smoke it off, then you're telegraphing that you're all going the other way. So you sometimes have got to take a risk to make it less obvious. And leaves it open, but he did get blasted from that position. Lucan takes a horrible angle and gets a horrible headshot, courtesy of Fallen. I'm not sure if the rifle fell off, but I think there might be an alternative boost here. In the meantime, Leo Drunky's got a nice position by the mortar, and Fer has been taken out.
I'm trying to pick up the gun.
Oh, that's not good. That's a really big opportunity for MiBR. Of course, Main goes down. He only had 12 HP. Exit has an angle, but they quickly make it past that angle. Now he's got to worry about his left-hand side, his close left, and his far right. So, oh my God, this is falling to pieces for Sharks. Getting their bell rungs. Stretch from pillar to post. 2 versus 4. 2 rifles. Post-plant positions for MiBR. This is a lost round for Sharks.
Yeah, they can't recover this, it seems. And JNT might... I mean, it's going to be careful because it's going to give away another gun to MiBR. And now just Leo Junkie. I mean, this is doable from his position. He has everybody towards, well, they're all towards the CT spawn portion of the bomb site, so that's going to be kind of helpful for Leo Junkie. If he's going to hit a couple nice shots, but he will be denied ultimately. Lucas out there with that Kree scoped in, dialed in, and that's the frag. The rounds 10-3 in favor of MiBR. Oh wow, that's pretty... Can't even really see Lucan there.
I'm interested as to what kind of buy Sharks will have here. They have a reasonable level of grenades, all things considered. For me, that was like an auto save, though. I think just with the nature of the bomb site and the choke points and so on, I feel like you're asking for a lot to bring that one back. 4 players alive with 2 rifles. It's a big gamble. And it leaves Lucan and Vertigo here, so just imagine if they'd held onto those weapons. For me, there was a snap decision to be made there, but that's just an opinion. 2 rounds remain now, and MiBR on double figures. Again, they really like taking this mid position immediately, and when they get that smoke up on the boost spot and the jump spot, whatever you want to call it, really can compromise things. We can see Exit will be playing off of his teammate. This is a setup with a lot of potential. Will MiBR go for the boost? Will there be a smoke to isolate J&T's position? There'll be a flashbang. Now Exit, I think he's being looked for as well. He's been activated, Lucan's been taken out. He's playing against the headshot position there, so this mid setup has been disastrous for Sharks.
Yeah, it's not really worked out at all. Nice defensive kill from J&T, but might be too little. Well, I'm sure it's too little too late at this point, as MiBR can rally themselves, and J&T we finally discovered caught as the foe was hunting, and he will not be denied. Man gets taken down by KNG as well to leave MiBR in an 11-3 advantage. That is an amazing scoreline. So much confidence can be had, and it doesn't look like MiBR will be slowing down anytime soon. It's good to see the confidence. I gotta say, I'm dying to see this MiBR just leveling themselves up in terms of the world rankings, becoming a real contender, you know, in the top 4. I don't know whether that's on the cards for the future, but so much skill and talent and experience on this team.
Sharks look lost at the moment. Seems to trying to figure out solutions towards that mid position, but not really getting there. I don't know that we've seen them do the CT boost that MiBR like to do on their CT side. And we may not get that many rounds for MiBR to even try to do it in the second half.
Yeah, you can see that Exit's flank actually forced KNG to lock off the flank with a smoke. So MiBR are in a weird position because they're forced towards the A side. There's actually just no choice at this point with the flank where it is. So they have to fight their way forwards. But it looks like it's working out here. You can see that the side alley is going to work for KNG to trade off the Fallen. And it does make the take of the bomb site a little bit easier for the T's in some respect. But it is still a 2v3. Sharks are an advantage on the numbers, but the bomb has just been planted.
Lucan with 6 HP, his teammates with the utility, no defuse kit, so there is urgency here for the CTs. Oh, just walking into the angle there. I think he should have died, but alive for now, forcing their way through. Lucan will go and get the information at the very least, but got to be careful he doesn't fall off. He might just take out everybody. There's a spray from May, and a very laboured spray. Again, he doesn't have a defuse kit, so what hope does he really have for this? Not much. Taco with that final frag in the round. 12-3 for MiBR, a monstrous start, and there'll probably be a monstrous finish after the break.
Cool, right? Want to know where I got it? Well, look, go to cs.money. It's a trade platform and a marketplace at the same time. Just choose, click, and get. Good luck, bro.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is not looking good for Sharks. They are being blown out of the water by MiBR so far. We have no reason, no argument to suggest that Sharks are going to mount a comeback here. So they're going to have to prove their worth against their Brazilian counterparts, MiBR. We'll have to see if they can start well with this pistol, though. Only a couple nades on JNT, everybody else with Kevlar, and they're looking to attack the B bomb side. Already thinking Lucas. It's a good start, but can they close it down?
They've got a numbers advantage, swarming the site. There are some trades. Leo Drunky doing some good work. The bomb needs to be collected and planted quickly. Time is of the essence. There is a kit very well in the middle of the site as well, so let's keep that in mind. Mayan delivering some headshots. KNG attacker remains stuck on the reload, still alive now. Can he be the bait? KNG falls back just in time to get his own reload in. Man advantage for Sharks. KNG running distraction. Taco trying to get something done. KNG will pop. Taco starting to move in as well. Now it's a 2 versus 1. The bomb is not planted for them, but the defuse kit's on the other side. So seeing that, Sharks are non-believers. Taco goes for it again. Leo Drunky coming. That's a nice one tap from Taco. Touches the bomb again. I think the HUD has crashed. There we go. 1 versus 1. Taco just holding the bomb. Is he going to get there? He sees the spins. Can he find the head? Oh my god! Okay, ignore that. I think there's some issue with the HUD, but it'll get reset. But Taco just spinning.
Oh my god.
That is I've never seen that. He's like, you know, when people are spinning, he's spinning with like the lowest sends. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
He's doing 180s.
That's what you need a DPI switch for. Oh my god. That is actually so ridiculous. I didn't realize that he was so close to actually getting it.
Yeah, the HUD had a little bug there,
man.
so it was delayed. I don't know if we could heard him touch like
Oh my god.
something to defuse, but anyway, that is just like, I don't know, man. We'll have to move on. All we can do is move on. All we can do is move on, and Taco will try to move these guys off of this construction. The bomb spotted towards the A bomb site. Mayan can collect it. They could choose to try and reset the situation. He will jump off. JNT leaves Taco with 12 HP. They have players position, instant swap. He'll take the worst gun as he's likely to fall. No one's actually watching. Hector could find 2. Is he going to make it? Oh, he's made a footstep. Really expect second one. He'll deliver the kill anyway. Maybe there is a chance for Sharks.
That was a bit awkward, but Fur with the flank upon the flank. Oh no, Fur could do to them what was just done to MiBR. Oh, not quite. Man, we're taking down 1 HP. Can you believe it? Lucas really in with the chance. He's got an HE as well, and exits on 34 points of health. Not that much better than Mayan. This could be very interesting indeed. Lucas, will he emerge from side alley? Of course he will. And all the frags from the side alley. There's that flick. Down to 8 points of health, but Mayan's on 1. The HE has been sent. It will not find its targets. And it's going to be Mayan to do that. 1 HP, and he'll clutch around, but lots of damage has been done.
Man, what a difficult game of Vertigo for Sharks. I wonder if they fear the CT aggression. Do they even know what to expect at this point? I feel like MiBR are kind of, in part, creating the meta while Sharks are just reacting to it on this map at the moment. If the HE would have landed, that would have been quite something, but here we go. 9-round lead for MiBR. Sharks able to reset the situation. They'll expect a force buy, I'm sure, but not sure if we'll actually see one. There's a tack timeout from MiBR, but they've bought nothing just yet.
It's a great first half from KNG. He's been fragging his heart out. And this is going to be a really scary round. There's lots of opportunity for MiBR. I would imagine if they decide to purchase into it, which they might because their money really sucks. They may decide to force buy here, and I mean, I think that's a good move, honestly. You know, their money's so terrible. So let's see what they go for. They're actually going for a full save. Very interesting. Their money's so low. It's very, very curious that they're going for this. Oh, and they're just going to go and feed the kills to exit with the Krieg. KNG's managed to make a run through to T-spawn. Not sure what he expects to find in T-spawn, but, well, he's got himself the KNG's got himself the Krieg.
This is interesting. Fire. Okay, Mayan's clearing out most of these issues. I mean, by not buying anything, they'll simply give themselves more money when it comes to the buy rounds. So they'll be in a better position, more utility.
The Krieg's been collected. You know, that's actually a huge win.
Yeah, but clearly they have intention with the utility, as we saw with the wall of smoke on the T side. So that will be a point of interest once their buy comes through. But now they can have some fun with this Krieg in the next round and try and make it really difficult for Sharks. making their way to 5 rounds. Very much an uphill struggle. We didn't really see any of the explosiveness. Just one highlight frag from J&T in 1 round. Brutal stuff, really, courtesy of MiBR. I mean, they were prepared for the map, and this is what you get with preparation.
Yep.
I think it's a unique spot as well for Sharks in that with the changes and so on. Indeed, I think if you look at how these two teams in the vacuum of this map, MiBR are kind of creating the meta of what they did on the T side, whereas I'm sure some of that must have come as a surprise for Sharks. Hard to react to in the moment. But anyway, they're on the T side now. They are off to winning ways. They did drop a Krieg, which I guess it was taken away while I was looking at something else. So never mind. There's no concern there, apparently. Here we go. 5 rounds for Sharks. I'm just very curious to see what MiBR will do on the CT side. And if Sharks will play a scared T side based on the dominance we've seen from MiBR in the first half, what they will do.
Yeah, MiBR could really serve to make... Because in a round like this is supposed to be a free round. So if MiBR make it scrappy, if they get like 2 or 3 kills, that really robs Sharks of the feeling of confidence that you can get from these rounds where you just crush your opponents. You got such a decisive advantage with the MAC-10, the Kriegs, the utility, the Kevlar and everything, so many advantages. So you want to get the crushing round. But there's a 4-man setup here for MiBR. This could be dangerous, James.
They're lining up, trying to use the numbers as best they can. Don't get 1 kill out of it. Lucan maybe gets an upgrade. No. He'll still have the MAC-10. We'll see if he chooses to switch out for it again, since it was a double eco for MiBR. Maybe we'll see a few helmets. First picked one up immediately, and an AUG. KNG with an AWP, just the one, which is very interesting, because again, as they mentioned on the desk, we're seeing different things with the AWPs on different sides. Sometimes Fallen, sometimes KNG.
Oh.
Yeah, that's an interesting
Where's
one.
that go?
To the Netherrealm. On top of the mortar or sandbags.
Oh, I think it's a side alley smoke.
These are CT smokes, I think. Saw blue lines there, so you don't know just yet, but Taco has a slight gap to play with. There'll be some harassment. They'll slow down the Sharks. Some molly for J&T. Taco will make some steps and concede his position, but he'll re-smoke and buy some time.
J&T playing around it. You can see this new side alley dynamic coming in. Taco really being very, very, very bold. Still pushing in the smoke. He's going to sit in the smoke as it disappears, and he finds the kill. That's ridiculously cheeky. It's such a problem because, oh, he gets a dink as well. The level of presence from the side alley player, like you can get backstabbed at any second. That's how the Sharks feel right now. How do you move? How do you move forwards?
Yeah, and that's the bomb carrier they just spotted. And they've smoked off the choke point yet again. You can see it's a priority for MiBR. That's a great flick from KNG on the bomb site. I feel like he should have delivered that one as well, but Taco's there to clean up the mess. And he's got a follow up on his bell ringing earlier on. There's a trade for MiBR on the A-bomb site, and now they're just 2 rounds away. Looks comfortable. There's money for Sharks, but MiBR, this looks like an open and shut case.
Such a cheeky frag. Just staying out there for so long. It's really beautiful work from Taco in this round. And Sharks will bring the orb back out onto J&T. It's a 4-buy. Everyone except J&T with nades. They need to be able to change something up here. Looking to move quickly towards A, at least in terms of keeping that pressure on. Leodranki does get the forward Molotov. And then Sharks slow it down. They're spreading out across the width of the map. And MiBR playing a 2-1-2. So MiBR playing sort of a catch-all setup at the moment. So this could be an opportunity, a chance for Mayan. Maybe not. And meanwhile, KNG is creeping. He's looking for the pick. Everyone's being very passive and very shy right now, James. Everyone's very shy.
The mere fact that KNG is the one sniper on the team just shows the level of development that we're seeing from MiBR, at least on this particular map, because I feel like it was often Fallen when we were watching it in the online stages. MiBR growing from strength to strength. How long does he wait for a peek here at the sandbags, or does Fer have a player covering him? Oh, this is outrageous, isn't it? He's going to hear some footsteps as well. They've made assumptions, Shark. There's no Molotov, although Fer's lost his teammate, and there's a trade for exit, so it hasn't quite worked out, but there was potential. 39 seconds on the clock. 4 versus 3 for Sharks.
Yeah, it's a pretty huge bait setup that did backfire enormously, but 30 seconds to get the bomb planted. KNG is on the B-bomb side. This could cause a lot of problems, actually. Going to make their way forward now, but again, time is an issue. KNG doesn't have any support, so if he gets a couple kills, this is definitely doable, but he's really got his back against the wall. There's the first one. That's a beautiful kill to get. Oh, he tries to drop the incendiary, but he's been thrown off the building, and Fallen has made his way into position. It's still doable here for MiBR, but it will be so difficult.
Fallen, perhaps position unknown. Though Lucan is starting to focus. I think maybe he saw the backpack. I think he did. Fallen jiggling. How on earth has he won that? They were so prepared for him, but he still delivers the kill. That's ridiculous. 2 versus 2. There's a kit for both CTs. Taco on the way now, but Fallen will get finished off. And that's such a strong angle, but Taco's ready for it. But can he find a kill? He falls off. Maybe there was a chance for him to turn around and run to the site, but no, Mayan will deny him. And there is a round number 7 for Sharks, only making it to half the score, though, of MiBR.
That positioning from Mayan was very smart. You can see the deep. Even though Taco knew exactly what he was doing, you can see that Taco it's actually impossible to find an answer with the angles. Just outplayed on the angle. Taco cannot get deep enough there without falling off. And it was exposed to Mayan the whole time. So okay, we're going to follow the smoke. Nice, I appreciate it. Is this side alley? It is, indeed. So it was a side alley smoke after all, James.
But I saw 2 blue lines here, so I assumed it was a smoke. Maybe it was a flashbang or a HE or something. My bad.
Well, Taco might be causing problems here. But no one checking sandbags. Oh no, James. Oh no. He could get 2 kills here. Oh, he just took a shot. They don't have any idea that he's here still, I think.
I don't, yeah, even now.
They have no idea.
Oh, there's holes in the game for Sharks.
And he realizes he oh, he doesn't spot one. I don't know that he's been spotted either. This is very suspicious. JNT, okay, they do know that he's there. He'll be forced out, and it's Lucas in a 1 versus 3, and he'll get eliminated as well. Sharks with another round. So despite MiBR's first half, they've only got 2 rounds in the first 6 rounds or so of this second half. So
Taco's position there could be a gift in disguise, this play, because there's been a few positions which Sharks have not bothered to Molotov, and that might be a stylistic difference in what we're seeing from MiBR, where they always had the Molotovs towards the sandbags in mid, and that position, I think, as well. But there is risk involved in that, and MiBR, if they think they can get away with that again, then maybe they make the play again. We have to note that Fallen is now on the AWP as well. So we've got double sniper rifles for MiBR. KNG's naked, no Kevlar for him. Sharks have to identify this. JNT will have a scope, but it will be the Krieg. I say but. It's still the same dangerous weapon. Minute 29 on the clock as Sharks try to figure out the makeup of MiBR and force them back from some positions. We can see the rifle supports in their mid position. Clearly a priority at the moment for MiBR at least. We saw the struggles that Sharks had with that in the previous round, and that's a nasty surprise if you're Sharks. And look at that instant reset to a second position, which is almost in the same area. If you look at overpass, when you take a shot and you fall back and so on, you can take a shot and basically post up in almost exactly the same position. There's the rifle support taken out, and now Fallen's got to run for his life.
Yeah, he's got support too, so he's okay. Taco will push forwards, keeping an eye on middle for Fallen. And Mayan starting to work towards that B side, really looking for that headshot. Denied, though. That's a really timely smoke, actually. That's going to be there for a while. Oh, gets caught by Taco, who was investigating in middle. Didn't want to sit around anymore, nor does Mayan. He's found one more. Fallen at the back of the side. Fallen's going to get sprayed in the face by Mayan. Running gun. And they have control of that B bomb site. MiBR are going to be hard pressed to do anything here.
Great urgency there from Mayan. 2 versus 2. KNG just waiting for Sharks to make the wrong movement. Taco maybe forcing them in that direction. There we go. There's a 1 versus 1, but Mayan almost spinning around. Will deliver another crucial kill. Sharks keep winning the round. Really important. The CT's half was a nightmare, but they're getting there. Round by round. 1 time at a time. 1 round at a time, excuse me. Don't look at the whole deficit. Don't look at 5 rounds. Look at 1 round. 5 times.
Okay, so Sharks in a commanding position. It does feel like they are, they're on the edge, given that MiBR are only 2 away from victory here. But if you're going to keep winning them, that's all that matters. And you can see some discussion going on here from Fallen, leading the troops, getting everyone on the same page. And Sharks have been doing a good job in actually getting picks of late. Now, I wonder if MiBR are thinking about taking some forward positions to kind of try to deny that. So far, they've been playing fairly passive, 2-on-2 setups, and 2 players in mid, trying to just shut down middle, but they haven't really been going aggressive towards the A or B ramps, respectively. So just pistols here, of course, for MiBR on the save. These are the rounds that maybe they win, James. Who knows?
Yeah, no round is easy. No round is for free. Will the molly go past KNG's position? Oh, it puts him in a rough spot. Leo. Oh my god, KNG. And look at the swarm immediately from the CT's KNG. What is he doing? 3 digs. This is a complete disaster. Only one of these rounds is enough for MiBR. They are 2 rounds away from the first map. KNG.
Oh, that's
I told you, man. He was the missing piece.
Oh, that's outrageous. That is not okay.
That is not okay, James. KNG just wiped them out. He gets the quad kill in the round. Oh, it looked like him getting 1 kill here. It's like, oh, good job, great job. And then he ekes out a second, and then here comes the third. Just wiping them out.
We've seen a lot of players getting caught off guard around that sidewalk position. That's the last time you're expecting a peek from the CTs, surely.
So sick.
But here it is. Look how devastating that is. Not being prepared for that peek takes everything away from Sharks, apart from that 1 Krieg that JNT's able to buy up. Everything else is crap.
Oh my god. That just breaks your soul, doesn't it? It just shatters your heart into a million pieces if you're Sharks.
How do you face 2 AWPs with 2 UMPs, with 2 flashbangs, with 2 pistols?
Yeah, Lucas has picked off 1 as well, going aggressive around the B steps. Oh dear, they're looking to get even more aggressive, it seems. They might be ready for the ting. We get Junkie with the peek. Nice headshot, though. All right, here we go. They've got a frag. The 4v4.
Oh, the timing of the Molotov, I think, stopped him from hearing the grenade being prepared. Leo Drunky just forces the game forward. JNT. Oh my god, the turnaround. That is such horrible timing for MiBR, but Taco has the element of surprise. Has he seen 2 players? Well, there's going to be a trade, surely. Indeed, there is. It's not over just yet. 5 rounds is doable for Sharks. I honestly think the timing of that incendiary hitting the floor covered the grenade being thrown, the flashbang, which changed everything. That's horrible timing, but it's been a horrible game for Sharks, so I think they deserve a little something here or there.
That is so insane. Nice headshot. That's what started it all. And this is what we were talking about, James. Yeah, just completely blind. Really well played. Forcing MiBR onto a save. Oh, God, the Deagles, they just don't stop, do they?
Here we go again. It's his turn to activate now. Okay, well, he's gone, but KNG's still alive. See if he can become notorious with the Deagle. Apparently not. It's Taco with the P250 now. A fast 1 from Sharks, exactly what they need. A build of some confidence. These are nervous times.
Yeah. It's crazy too, because MiBR, they won that round. It was a save round that they won. So normally you have loads of money. So they really spent so much in the following rounds. They kind of crippled their own economy a little bit. Obviously, they couldn't know that they would lose that following round, but here's Fer with that beautiful shot, making it look really easy, just gliding onto that frag. But the double ops coming out now for MiBR once again. And I would like to see that side alley push from KNG. I think that would be really fun to see that again. Let's see if he goes for it. It looks like he might be going for that side alley push with the AWP. Here we go. Let's see if he finds something here. There are going to be players, but you can see there's a smoke down. He's found a brilliant angle. And Taco's out there. He's going to get a double himself. Taco doing so much damage, and KNG's behind that. It looks like Leo Drunky realizes just tapping away with the Krieg, and that's him done. And now it's a 3v3 as Fallen tries to claim another life.
So fast.
But it looks like both teams will give it up at this point. 3v3.
Oh!
I didn't realize that was a thing.
Crazy action all over the map. Fallen and Lucas are all that's left. I kind of want overtime. I expected the Anarchy, not in this fashion, with Sharks just getting absolutely fisted, but there's still a chance. Fallen and Lucas versus 3. These AWP will be so important. That's so much real estate for Fallen. But there's going to be a gap somewhere, be it on the B bomb site, be it in mid. We've got Lucas creeping. He's being active. He has an angle. He could get one for free. He's got sound cues as well. He'll probably see some heads crossing if they go the wide route, but they're going the close route. Main's looking for it, but there's the head he was looking for. 2 versus 2 now as Fallen will start to rotate.
Yeah, that's such a key kill. Oh, he's just going to go straight through. He doesn't realize one is behind him, and that's the grave mistake that's going to cost him everything. And Fallen would need just an incredible shot to start this off. He's making all the sound in the world, so he has no element of surprise. And he's finding in a situation whereby he has no idea where his opponents are, and they're playing 2 stacked in 1 position, which should make it impossible for Fallen. There's a smoke, there's a molly. He's going to go for the holder's knee. Here he goes. He's not got a kit, so he's trying to bait out a player. He needs to get both kills pretty damn quickly here. Looking around the side of the smoke, he finds nothing. Oh, the swipe through the smoke, and little does Leo Drunky know that's where the smoke ended. But looks like Fallen will get his escape after all. Keep the AWP in hand, but another round going towards Sharks. They're only 3 away from overtime now. It's looking very possible.
It really is.
It started out like this. It started out with a huge 2K from Taco, which was returned by Leo Drunky. I'm surprised KNG didn't get that one, and then this is what tipped it over the edge. Exit with a nice frag in mid. And then risks were taken. Okay, where do you go from here? Where do you go from here at MiBR? Their money's so weird, James. It's so weird. They've got the AWP, though, saved on Fallen.
Well, they got the loss bonus, so it's not too crazy if they keep it together for the next round. I think the focus is Fallen with the AWP. They are putting a reasonable investment behind it, as you can see. Lots of Kevlar, a few grenades. So I think the smoke grenades will help them hold Sharks to allow Fallen to try and get a pick somewhere, rotate, stop Sharks from bursting and kind of overwhelming, finding the many cracks in this setup. Leo Drunky, though, looks for a fast one of a P90 being picked up. That is very interesting. Fallen through the smoke. That's a perfectly timed flashbang. There's a P250, P90. The Deagle from Lucas, though, will cause some problems. But that's a big gun taken away. However, we've seen how dangerous these Deagles can be. Nothing can be taken for free, and Fur has, again, taken an outrageous position. But Exit is going almost as wide as Fur is. Will he look deep, though, towards Fur's position? That is a very... They're basically standing on top of each other. This is a really weird prospect. Has he got... Yeah, there we go. That's a very important frag. Otherwise, that's disaster.
Yeah, and I think that's also an experience thing on Vertigo. I think if Fur has more experience, I feel like he probably understands to check for some of those positions. But ultimately, it is going to go the way of Sharks here, it looks like. KNG would be best served by really trying to protect the AWP. And sometimes the offense is the best defense. He'll try to get an aggressive presence here with the AWP, make Sharks think that he's maybe going for it. Maybe he's trying to just get some kills, and then he'll have more space to fall back on. But he's going to get taken down by JNT. Nice elevation. That's the AWP down. Perhaps JNT will pick it up. Lucas looking to do more damage, though, with his Deagle. He's notorious with the Deagle, so let's see what he can get out of this one. Nothing. 13-5. 2 away.
Yeah, I'm liking this comeback. At least they've made it. Like, if they are to lose, which maybe they do, maybe they don't, at least the score is noble. They've done the same to MiBR. I think the fashion in which MiBR did it was a lot cleaner, though.
Yeah.
They just seem simply to have more straps for current Vertigo, which is fine, but Sharks are making it happen. The 2 AWPs are here again, and this is the thing. When it's MiBR, when the AWPs are out, you just never know. Like, there's every round is very winnable, and I kind of favor them every round, even though they're losing most of them.
Yeah, I agree. It's a fast moving up the A ramp here. Taco will get a one for free, and he'll fall back to safety. He's got the cover of a teammate as well. KNG with the AWP. Man, imagine the confidence you can have if KNG is your bomb site partner. And things slow down now. Sharks can't really find their way forwards with the smokes up.
Yeah, 5 versus 4 in favor of MiBR, who have game points. This is really going to be a war of attrition for Sharks. Got Leo Drunky by the sandbags, looking for an overextension from MiBR, looking for aggression to punish as his team will start to creep.
It's a big focus on the A bomb site. The only person towards B seems to be Lucas at the moment. When will Leo choose to peek? I think he's trying to catch the CTs off guard, getting curious. Taco was almost threatening to be curious. There was a slight chance there, but he's missed it now, and that's a big clue for MiBR.
Yeah, it is, but they don't have an incendiary to remove him from this position. So MiBR, they don't really want to engage. They want to force the Cs to plant first and then fall back and then catch them. And the utility is just gone. I mean, there's only one smoke left on Sharks. So the utility game is better for MiBR, but MiBR have to play the retake here effectively. And this is getting awkward now. A 3v3, KNG activated by the side alley as Fer also figures out when his best moment to time it. Oh god, there's a gap. I gotta hold that thought because this gap is going to be instrumental. Exit has to force his way forwards to try to do this. He takes down one, but there's only 15 seconds to plant the bomb and he'll get eliminated. Lucas with the kill, and MiBR will take map 1. It was a difficult map 1, but they get there.
That was a long slog, and I think that score will make the map on paper look less interesting than it actually was, because that T side from MiBR was really interesting. A lot going on there, the wall of smokes and such towards that B bomb site. They were very, very prepared for a lot of different things, and I think that was super curious. And I look forward to seeing MiBR playing more Vertigo in the future. But credit to Sharks starting awfully, having a nightmare on the pistol round as well with that long defuse from Taco, but able to get that force buy-in, turn things around. They really did it the hard way just to get back to that point.
Yeah, they really did. It was amazing to see that Sharks, though, were able to kind of weather the storm and just keep their heads in the game, despite being in this situation where they're just in dejection, deflation, demoralized completely, but they still kind of were rock solid, and they just played their game to the best of their abilities. And that's twice we've seen that now. We saw that against Astralis yesterday. It was a similar situation, although they started off well, and it was, Astralis be able to grind back and eventually win.
Yeah.
But I felt like it wasn't Sharks being too timid or being afraid to win effectively. It felt like they just were outclassed. So
yeah, that was pretty awesome to watch. And there's more Counter-Strike to come after this break.